Hi, everybody. I'm Raquel, coming to you from just outside of Vancouver in British Columbia. I'm just so honored to be here. This started for me a while back when I was living on the island, Salt Spring Island, and I had a direct connection with the Draco, where I was attacked at night. And essentially, Yeshua and his entourage saved me. And since that time, it's almost like I entered this energy of, of their energy, so to speak, and I became familiar with how to deal with that energy in a way. And so they asked me if I wanted to continue in that way, just clearing energy, not just for myself, but for others as well. And so I've been sort of dabbling with that over the last few years, mostly doing like grid work clearing of the Draco energy. I can only like sort of attest to my own experience. And so this has been done like just in the area that I live in. So most of like British Columbia, wherever I've been. So any areas that I encounter these energies, they sort of swoop in and they come and help me to clear that energy. And then they have this method of taking it off planet and processing those energies. So it's like the higher energies are bringing these energies to these places to for them to be taken off planet. So in a way, um, the Draco or those attached to them that want to give up the ghost, so to speak, for them to be released from this plane of existence. There are others
Mm.
that face resistance as well, like they don't want to leave. And so in those cases, then the decree is presented to them, right? The decree by the Almighty or the Creator, however you want to read that energy. But this decree was, I guess, back in 2012, right? And so they are presented with that decree that they're no longer welcome on this plane of existence. And so that's when it's like, yeah, they have to leave and they have no choice. And so in that case, they're still like surrounded with the higher light and taken off planet. But in that case, it's like more of a resisted form of removal, right? It just seems like we need to go to the root of the problem. I've just been making notes as we went along here. But I think it comes back to the original, well, for us anyway, on this planet, it was the Draco and the Orion invasion, right, that caused most of these inconsistencies within our planet, so to speak, and within the connection that our planet has on a cosmic or universal level. And that fracturing has caused all of this rift universally, right? And so because of that invasion, Gaia or Mother, the Earth plane, or however you want to refer to her, because she's got many iterations of her own being, right? So she was basically taken from a fifth dimensional vibrational energy and brought down to a third dimensional vibrating energy during that invasion. And so that shifted her entire consciousness. And that was done because these beings had to live essentially on this plane of existence because they couldn't survive in a fifth dimensional existence. They brought it down to their level of vibration. So, the reason why I suppose they brought all of these um, degradations to our plane of existence was lack of empathy, right? They just don't function like we do, right? We have love in our hearts, but they don't, right? They function on a very different level. They function out of fear. They function out of um what's the word? They want to conquer, right? They want to establish um victory over planets. So this is what they did for the Earth plane. And so when they came in, they essentially, the way they felt that they could control was through fear. And they attacked the heart of the being, of the mother, which created the most impact, and that's the feminine energy, whether it's on a biological level or from the planetary view. If you look at it from the planetary view, they attacked Mother Earth, right? And so they attacked the feminine energy, they attacked the woman, they attacked um, the way we lived as females during that time. And so any and all areas where they could degrade that energy, they did. And I guess the initial way they did it was to take women as their slaves, children as, and to a large extent that's still happening, but people don't really know about it. children were considered as food, and the men, they obviously took them as prisoners as well. So in any way they could, they degraded the energies on all levels of this plane of existence. And so I think we need to build back that vibration and bring that vibration up to a higher level in a way that these energies cannot survive in this environment anymore. And that's why it's so important to bring that higher vibrational energy back into the planet and anchor it powerfully into the planet. And so by doing that, I think we can eliminate most of these inverted ideologies that they have brought to the plane of existence. And you just mentioned ISIS, and in your update, you talked about the Magdalene laundries. So even in the words, they are inverting all of it. Now, ISIS, as you guys know, is a goddess from Egypt. Mary Magdalene, goddess from Egypt. So, piercing the heart of the feminine in any way possible to bring down that frequency vibration to their level of thinking, where she is, or any of these individual priestesses are considered as a very low vibrational energy, right? Like if you think of the Mary Magdalene laundries, it's like the dirt of society are brought there, right? And that's what they considered these women to be, right? So every time the word Magdalene is said out loud, it's brought into that frequency, which is very low, right? And so that's where I come from. We try to raise that vibration and bring that energy up to a higher level. Well, that's
Yeah,
the inversion too, isn't it? Like she is to this day his beloved,
yeah.
and she was portrayed in such a negative way, which is completely inverted. So, yeah, that goes back to, I guess, the way the victors record history, right? And going back to how the Council of Nicaea recorded the Bible, right? And in what tone they recorded the Bible and how they proceeded to indoctrinate I guess, the population at that time. And that is resounding in our day and age as well, which is a total inversion of the truth. So there's many layers to this degradation, right? And
Mhm.
if you go back to the Draco again, sorry, I bring them back again because that's been my experience with them. This was like an energetic attack that happened to me personally, where they were essentially harvesting my eggs while I slept. I had no idea, right? I didn't know anything about this. I didn't even know what they were until it was like, being thrown into the deep end. And so there's many, many layers of degradation and how these things happen. So we have to be so vigilant on all levels of our consciousness and be completely aware of all the shenanigans that happen, right? I love that word shenanigans, but they have this so many layers and levels because if you think about it, they are operating on a level that we cannot even fathom, right? They are on a different playing field than us. And so we have to catch up. We have to play catch up for at least, 1,000 years, if you will, to realize what's been done to us, right? And so we are sort of in a gateway, if you will, that's allowing us to play catch up in a very open way and in a very enhanced way where we are being allowed to do that and allowed to heal all of these energies, going back to perhaps the beginning of when this intrusion happened. And so we have that ability now with all of us coming online and essentially realizing our powers because we are interdimensional beings and we have forgotten that. We are more powerful than these beings, and so we can basically tell them to get away from us, to essentially leave the planet. And that is going back to what we talked about, giving them the decree and saying that they're no longer allowed to live on this plane of existence and continue with all of the degradation that they have been able to do over the last so many thousands of years. And so, unfortunately, we are all personally impacted by so many of these incidents, right? And we feel it in our hearts. We feel it in the way we, through our own lenses and how we perceive the world, right? And so it's unfortunate, but we have to do something about it. Bringing in these ascended masters to clear and release all of these energies. removing the grip that these beings have on these stargates that bring about oppression of women, children, and men over the centuries. We ask that these energies be cleared in their totality, removing these energies, taking them off planet for their processing within their true evolutionary system, dissolving all false idols, the music industry, um, the people that portray themselves as representing the feminine energy to youngsters. Beings that come to mind are like Ariana Grande, Paris Hilton. All of these people are idolized for their
Taylor
representation of the feminine energy, which is to a large extent um, changing how young people think about the feminine energy, and that's shielding them from the true authentic energy that is the feminine energy. So dissolving all of those false ideas, false intentions of what the feminine energy truly is, bringing those true energies back into light strongly and powerfully within each being's heart, so that they know for sure for themselves what that energy truly is and truly means to them, and not have to look at somebody else externally to make them realize what that energy is. So, dissolving all of those false identities and false impressions that was placed upon the true energy of the divine feminine. Bringing in the 12th dimensional energy, powerfully anchoring this light, removing any and all energies that are suppressing this energy, bringing it to the light so that it may be healed and transmuted. So just clearing all of that energy, removing any and all of that oppression that exists, just bringing our energy to that and allowing for all of that to come to an end, and all of those restrictions on the feminine energy, bringing in the purity of the masculine energies, the energy of
Mm.
protection, the energy of respect, honoring the female energy. If all of that was brought to the forefront, that oppressor energy would just dissipate and be dismantled, because that cannot stand in the light of the true masculine energy, which is so pure and so in line with the true feminine divine energy. So bringing in those pure masculine energies and allowing for those energies to flow in these lands, and shining a light and awakening that within the male population of this area, allowing them to break the shackles from all of those energies that brought forth the oppressor energies within their hearts, just shattering all of that energy and bringing forth the true, pure masculine energy within their hearts, so that they see what their true actions have caused, and what that energy or that shift has created within the field, in the belief system that it's coming from God or from Allah, and they can perpetrate all of these impositions on the women through the through the veil, if you will, as if it's coming from religion, but it's coming from these energies that are presenting themselves as puppets, through these beings. There is a purity in all of humanity in whatever religion they follow, but it's when they then tie it in with these diabolical acts and intentions is where it gets uh, it becomes putrid and inverted. And that's what these individuals are doing. They are blending the Muslim faith within these actions that they bring forward, and propagate it within, by announcing it to the world through their speeches, through their public
Yeah.
forums. And the sad part is the male population, like not all of them want to want to suppress the women, you know. It's like the fathers and the brothers, they are forced by these, you know, these people in authority to condemn them. And in most cases, they don't really want to, you know, like you talked about the stoning and the punishment and this and that, and they drag the families into these you know, into these punishing situations. Not a lot of the men want to do that. Like who wants to stone your own daughter or your own sister, right? It's just the rules of the game, I suppose. You know, they're
Yeah.
just forced to do it because they have no choice. But yeah, if people would like to take a look at my books, I've got All That Is Progressing to the Fifth Dimension on my website, progressingtothefifth.com. And then the second book that I wrote just last year is a memoir from Yeshua ben Joseph, The Voice of an Angel. So both of these are available on Amazon, or you can access them through my website. Um, but yeah, I do one-on-one healing sessions as well. Just connecting to the higher self, clearing all of these energies that are stuck and stagnant within our energy field so that we are aligned for this ascension process, essentially to the fifth dimension, um, creating that bridge between the third and the fifth, um, aligning with the 12th dimensional energies to do that. I've been doing a lot of connecting with Mary Magdalene recently. And so there's a whole bunch of free downloads on my YouTube channel. It's called the Speaker Series. So if people would like to tune in there, there's a wealth of information on how she operates as a divine feminine, and you know, trying to resurrect that energy back into the field again. I've also started working with the Horus and Hathor of Egypt, which is again aligned to what we did today. And so those energies have also come into my field, and again, trying to correct, clear, and release all of those old stuck energies, and bringing in that purity back into the energy field, into Gaia, releasing and healing all of those wounds from from the past. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I get to do this work, and I hope that you know, you can go and visit my site, visit my YouTube channel, and check out all of the free information that's on there. I would recommend you guys read this book. It's like a true testament coming from him directly of his life as a light worker prior to his incarnation on the earth. Just going back to the book, it sort of traces his lifetime as a light worker essentially. So this was, you know, when he was sparked as a being, as a light being, and then his training as an initiate, then you know, his incarnation on the earth, and then after that, and what he's doing currently in this whole ascension process, if you will, and what how his energy is being lent to the whole process. But what's interesting is he talks about his relationship with Mary Magdalene and how that whole energy was inverted now and then, you know. There's a lot of good things in there. Thank you.